Sorry, Reeve Lauren Hickey from Lethbridge County. Sorry about that, Lauren. I'd also like to mention Craig Dalton, Lethbridge's new city manager, is here, and Councillor Blaine Higgin, as well as Paula Burns, who is the president of Lethbridge College. I think I've got everybody. If I did miss you, Ann Mitchell, the CEO of Lethbridge County, is here as well. So thank you all for coming. Really appreciate your time. We're so excited to be here at Exhibition Park today for this incredible announcement. Exhibition Park has been around for over 120 years, being a social, economic, and agricultural center for much of southern Alberta. It is also known as the Lethbridge and District Exhibition and is one of Alberta's longest running agricultural societies. Over the years, people from all over have played sports here, roped calves here, watched monster trucks, and maybe even gotten married here. Today's announcement is not just exciting for Exhibition Park, it's also big news for Lethbridge and our agricultural community. Agriculture is a huge driver of our economy and a way of life all the way around southern Alberta. This announcement will not only bring construction jobs now, but jobs into the future as we hope to attract further private investment across not only southern Alberta, but all of the prairies. So thank you again for being here. I'd like now to especially introduce our Premier, Mr. Jason Kenney, for his remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nate, and I'm sorry to be running a bit late. Had a very busy morning throughout southern Alberta. Just came in from Fort Macleod, and thank you all for being here for a very exciting announcement. Before I get to it, I just want to acknowledge that this morning the Right Honourable the Prime Minister announced that he will be recommending to Her Majesty the Queen the appointment of Selma Lakhani as Alberta's next Lieutenant Governor to represent Her Majesty the Queen in Alberta. And I am delighted with this appointment. Ms. Lakhani has a lifetime of commitment to our community as a leading businesswoman, as a community volunteer, as a supporter of new Canadians and the least fortunate in our society as well, contributing in so many ways. In fact, to let you in on a secret, 5 years ago, I had recommended to Prime Minister Harper that he consider appointing Selma Lakhani as the Lieutenant Governor. So I'm very delighted with this nonpartisan appointment to an important institution as part of our constitutional monarchy. And with that, I'm delighted to be here with Nate, who's doing a tremendous job representing Lethbridge in Alberta's legislature, together with Agriculture Minister Dreeshen, with Mayor Chris Spearman, great to see MP Rachel Harder, and other local leaders for an exciting announcement about helping to get people back to work as part of Alberta's economic recovery plan. As I said when we announced it yesterday in Calgary, Alberta's recovery plan is bold, ambitious, and it's a long-term strategy to build and diversify our economy and create jobs. In the near term, of course, we're focused on protecting lives during the worst public health crisis in over a century. But as I've been saying from the start of the pandemic, protecting livelihoods is also critical. We've managed in Alberta to balance these two goals better than almost anywhere around the world. Our hospitalization and fatality rates are among the lowest of any affected region, and we are keeping the number of hospitalization cases low and stable. And we've done that while keeping 85% of Alberta's businesses and 95% of our economy functioning within the new SAFE guidelines, way more than in other places across Canada and throughout the Western world, many of which that went to full lockdowns. We didn't do that in Alberta. But the global coronavirus recession and oil price crash hit just as we were starting to climb out of 5 years of economic adversity. Now we're faced with, frankly, Depression-era levels of unemployment, officially at 15%, but in reality, as much as 10 times higher than that. Today, Statistics Canada reported a 11% decline in our national economy from March to April this spring. We in Alberta kept our economy on life support over the last 3 months in part with the help of some $14 billion of direct support from Alberta's government to individuals, families, small businesses, through job creation programs, to support our healthcare system, the agriculture industry, and also through tax, fee, and loan deferrals, much, much more, including the $200 million small business relaunch grants that we opened for applications just yesterday. Now it is critical to get Albertans working again, and that's why we're taking actions, as I said, like the Small Business Restart Grant, to get entrepreneurs back in business and their employees back to work. In an effort to address a backlog in Alberta's cattle processing, Minister Dreeshen and I announced last month a funding program to help cattle producers cover the cost of feeding market-ready cattle. I know that means a lot around here in the feedlots of southern Alberta. Our $1.5 billion investment in the Keystone XL pipeline is another great example of action to create jobs in the midst of this crisis. It immediately creates thousands of jobs, but after the oil starts flowing, it'll generate tens of billions of dollars for Alberta's economy and tens of billions of dollars of revenue for Alberta's government in decades to come. The same two goals, protecting lives and livelihoods, underpin virtually every facet of our recovery plan, a plan to create jobs, to build, and to diversify. It includes the largest single infrastructure build in Alberta history, creating some 50,000 jobs, with $10 billion in projects, building roads, bridges, overpasses, water projects, pipelines, gas lines, schools, hospitals, long-term care homes for seniors, drug treatment centers for those struggling with addiction, tourism infrastructure, and much, much more. These actions will spur the creation of thousands of other jobs for subcontractors, suppliers, vendors, hotels, restaurants in every corner of the province. This infrastructure plan, which represents a 40% increase over what had initially been budgeted in this year's provincial budget, is really about building the architecture of Alberta's future economy. And that's what brings me here today. I am very pleased to announce a $27.8 million contribution to the redevelopment of Lethbridge's Exhibition Park to become a world-class agri-food hub, a real engine of the future of Alberta's agriculture industry. This park has served the city and region well for more than a century, but the facilities are already at capacity, many decades old and near the end of their life cycle, and inadequate to the needs of the fast-growing communities that they serve here in southern Alberta. This project will bring a long overdue renewal and major expansion to Exhibition Park right here, providing more indoor and outdoor space for large events like festivals, like Whoop-Up Days, for fairs and agricultural shows. The Agri-Food Hub is an especially important and exciting part of this job-creating project. The Greater Lethbridge region represents some of the most productive agricultural land on earth. Generations of smart, hard-working entrepreneurial farmers and ranchers have amplified this region's strengths, including great land and climate, and ready access to international markets, with sophisticated irrigation systems and value-added processing operations. Today, the region is rightly known as Canada's premier food corridor. 4.2 million acres supporting nearly 5,000 farms and over 11,000 agribusinesses, generating over $8 billion a year in economic output. It's a fantastic success story. The corridor has already attracted some of the world's biggest food processors, including Cavendish Farms, which opened its huge new state-of-the-art $430 million frozen potato processing plant here last fall. I was delighted to be there at the opening. Expanding this park's role and its facilities as an agri-food hub will it help the region become an even bigger and even more diversified producer of high-quality, high-value food products for markets all across the world. The food production space will grow from 800 to 12,000 square feet, which will allow culinary students from Lethbridge College to expand their skills and augment the college's agri-food research. Additions include 260,000 square foot facility for conferences and meetings, and the new festival lawn south of the development, which will offer room for big outdoor public gatherings 365 days a year. Not this year, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, but that's kind of the point. We're building infrastructure for the future after COVID. The immediate and much needed benefit for the local economy is from the project we're announcing today is an estimated 400 construction jobs with an additional 50 permanent jobs after the project is complete. And the expansion is expected to boost the annual local economic impact of the park up from $74 to $90 million a year. This is about making Exhibition Park a bigger engine of economic, cultural, and recreational opportunity for Lethbridge and all of southern Alberta. It's an investment in Lethbridge that will create much-needed jobs now and pay economic and quality of life dividends well into the future. It's also a sign of our commitment to the agricultural industry, to the farmers and ranchers, and all of the producers who make such huge contributions to Alberta's health and wealth and our food security. I want to thank our partners, the City of Lethbridge. Mayor, thank you for having flagged this as a priority project. I want to thank Lethbridge College for their leadership and participation, and of course, the Lethbridge and District Exhibition Agricultural Society for their commitment to this project. And I recall being here, I think about 2, maybe it was 3 years ago, as leader of the opposition, and having the leadership of the Lethbridge Exhibition Agricultural Society tour me around, point out the aging facilities, the limited capacity, and their dream for this expansion. They drove a very hard sales pitch, let me tell you, 2 and 3 years ago, and I never forgot about it, and I want to commend MLA Neudorf for having pushed this as a key growth priority, not just for the city, but for the province. Together, we're looking beyond the pandemic to Canada's premier food corridor, increasing and diversifying its production even further, and capturing a bigger national and international share of agri-food markets so our farmers can thrive for generations to come. So to sum it up, jobs today for greater growth and prosperity tomorrow. It's a win-win for Lethbridge, for Albertans, one of many recovery plan projects we'll be announcing across the province in the days and weeks to come. Thanks very much.
Well, it's great to be here today to join MLA Neudorf and Premier Kenney as we acknowledge the agricultural heritage of Lethbridge and the surrounding area. And beyond just being a foundational element of Alberta's history, agriculture is an essential contributor to our economy. Alberta is one of Canada's largest food exporting provinces. In 2018, Alberta exported over $11 billion of agricultural products, and over 73,000 jobs are created here every year in the province of Alberta that's tied to agriculture. And Alberta agriculture is obviously the second largest resource sector that we have here in the province. And again, as was mentioned, in 1897, or 123 years ago, Exhibition Park since then has been the center of southern Alberta agriculture sector and has been a proud part of that sector. And this investment that has been announced today will create an opportunity to attract even more national and international events to southern Alberta. And investing in the agri-food hub will accelerate the area's recovery, attract even more investment, and create more jobs. And expanding the Exhibition Park and the development of an agri-food hub will further the ongoing work to Canada's premier food corridor. And as I mentioned, southern Alberta has a thriving agriculture industry, and this expansion will offer us another way to show it off to the world. And thanks again, and I look forward to attending even more events here at the Agri-Hub Food Centre. And with that, I'd like to turn things over to Mayor Chris Spearman. Thank you.
Okay, welcome to Blackfoot Territory and to the City of Lethbridge. I'd like to thank Premier Kenney, Minister Dreesen, and MLA Neudorf for this event today. This another example of promise made, promise kept. Tremendous for the city of Lethbridge, building on our strengths. The provincial government's commitment today speaks volumes to the potential of this project and shows confidence in the hardworking and innovative people of Lethbridge and Southern Alberta to make this happen. To Exhibition Park, I commend you on your vision and ongoing commitment to creating something bigger and better for our city. The development of an agri-food hub here in Lethbridge brings with it many opportunities that we are excited to explore. Over the last few years, our city has been more adaptable to the economic challenges facing our province because of the high-quality agriculture and processing that takes place in this city and in this region. As you know, the single largest private investment in Lethbridge's history was made by Cavendish Farms when they chose Lethbridge for their new plant, supplementing many other food processing facilities in the city and in the region. This helped solidify Lethbridge and Southern Alberta as the ideal place to invest in agri-food business, and we're proud to be recognized as Canada's premier food corridor. This has had a ripple effect through the region, creating jobs and new opportunities, and this investment will do exactly the same. This will be an economic catalyst for Lethbridge and Southern Alberta. From the city's perspective, we remain focused on supporting this work as we continue to develop our industrial park and municipal infrastructure to attract investment to our city. We're well positioned for all the emerging growth opportunities that will accompany this project, and we have similar ones in the hopper. Premier Kenney has emphasized the importance of diversifying the economy, and this investment is a testament to that. Building an agri-food hub will not only benefit our local region, but all of Alberta, as has been mentioned. We need to grow a stable and resilient economy in Alberta. As we begin to recover from COVID-19, this is a bright light in how we might work together within different sectors of the city and across different levels of government to create this economic catalyst. We welcome this investment in our community, and we thank you, Premier Kenney and Minister Dreeshen, for starting in Lethbridge with your significant announcements to move Alberta forward, to help build a strong future of agribusiness in this area. Thank you for your investment in Lethbridge and your confidence in us. Thank you for your promise made and your promise kept. Thank you. I won't drag it out, but the work of Nathan Neudorf as our MLA to push this project has been relentless, and I'd like to also commend him for his tireless efforts on behalf of the city. Thank you. And one more thing, the next speaker, the chairman of Lethbridge Exhibition, Bruce Galtz. Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor Spearman, and thanks to all of City Council for your support on this project. It's been years in the making. Lots of stakeholders and shareholders we've engaged with through the years. It's a huge project, encompasses all of Southern Alberta. It's very much a district in Regional Exhibition Park. Especially thank you to Premier Kenney and Minister Dreeshen and of course Nathan Neudorf, who's been acknowledged as being the real push on this project. Thank you very much. Exhibition Park, Lethbridge and District Exhibition Park, is truly a regional organization. We've been here for way more than 100 years, and it's been an important, iconic organization and facility that has helped this area grow, helped the agri-food industry grow, be able to feature so many of its products and services, and we've been lucky to be part of that through all of those years. Our facility has aged somewhat over the last several decades, and this is an opportunity for us to raise the bar one more time, become that premier facility, not just in Alberta, all of Canada, and I think worldwide. We're very proud to be part of that. We're very lucky to have a government, both provincially and locally, that supports that. And so thank you very much for that. I think it'll be great for our community. And maybe I should also thank a few other organizations that have been great partners. Obviously, the county is key to this. We are an agricultural county. The Lethbridge College has been a very important partner to the project. Culinary project, their culinary program was mentioned earlier, but the college in general has been just a great partner. Of course, we also have the university here as well. We work with all parts of agriculture, from 4-H and kids learning the business, all the way to the big companies like Cavendish and the agri-food production. All of those groups and companies and industries will benefit from this. So this is a great project. We're very, very excited to be part of it. And we recently had a change in leadership. I just want to acknowledge that Rudy Friesen, who has been our CEO for the last 18 years, has decided to move back to his family in Olds, and he's been a great leader for the last several years. But our point man for the last 2 years has been Mike Borkington, who's our Chief Operating Officer, and really has helped push this project along as well, obviously with Nathan's help. But he knows this project inside and out, and I'd like him to say a few words about the project and how excited we are to be here today. Thanks.
I'll do this quick, sorry. I woke up this morning knowing today was going to be a good day. However, I didn't know quite exactly how good it was going to be, but hearing all these gentlemen speak before me certainly brings that home. Today is a monumental milestone, not just for the 14-plus years history of this project, but for the 123-year history of this organization. I would like to thank Premier Kenney, Minister Dracian, MLA Neudorf, not just for their time today or their words, but for the countless hours that have gone into this decision. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for everything you've done. Additionally, our partners at the City of Lethbridge, Mayor Spearman, who's been an ally of this project since I've been involved with it, all of City Council that's represented here today, and everyone in the office. Craig Dalton, who's hit the ground running since he's taken the seat, as well as everyone there. Thank you for allowing us to continue on this journey and turn it into a reality. As Bruce alluded to, thank you to our board of directors, as well as Rudy Friesen for his stewardship of this project for the past 14-plus years. Without this project, our organization would be on a much different trajectory than we are today. So thank you to all of you. To the staff who have continually dedicated themselves, not just to the day-to-day operations, but to the ongoing work surrounding this project. Thank you to everything you do, significantly right now in challenging times. To our community partners, all have been mentioned who are here today, but I do want to thank you again. To Lethbridge College, to Economic Development Lethbridge, I know they're in the room somewhere. To MP Harder, thank you for coming. And to the County of Lethbridge, thank you very much for your continued support to tell the story of economic development that exists with projects like these in Southern Alberta. The story has been told here today, but Southern Alberta is rich in natural agricultural resources, delivering world-class agriculture production and processing, making it a truly one-of-a-kind agriculture region that is the backbone of the economy here in Southern Alberta. For over 120 years, Exhibition Park has been the destination for agriculture trade. Founded originally by local ranchers who wanted to showcase the fruits of their labor. Later, the site that we're standing on, developed to showcase the exemplary dry farming practices for the World Dry Farming Congress in 1912. Today's investment further solidifies the commitment to the region and to the industry as we look to bring to the forefront the resilience and the innovation that exists here in our community. Today's announcement paves the way for the creation of an agricultural food hub here at Exhibition Park that will showcase the efforts of Southern Alberta farmers and ranchers, expedite trade of products to domestic and foreign markets, incubate new agri-food products, and provide market access to standalone businesses, but most importantly, facilitate new job creation and investment into this community. Once again, I would like to thank all of you for the opportunity for being here today, and I look forward to welcoming you back in a few years to officially open the agricultural hub here at Exhibition Park. Thank you very much.
I believe that concludes our formal remarks, and we are now entering a question and answer period. I invite the Premier back to the podium and questions to begin from the floor.
I was going to give the tough ones to Devin and the mayor, but whatever. Harold?
Oh, okay, sure.
Did the print guys they always go first. You've been around for over 100 years, right? So. Not personally, no.
But I guess, this is part of a broader stimulus package for the whole province. And I guess, why was this project, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but specifically, why did this project kind of stand out amongst all the other projects?
So I'm going to repeat that for folks that are listening around the province on Facebook Live. The question was, why did this project stand out as a priority? So we're looking for shovel-ready projects that are going to get people back to work right away, but will also enhance long-term economic productivity and the diversification of Alberta's economy. Also projects that will meet the goals of our different sector strategies that we announced yesterday. This project hit all of those marks. It is well advanced, ready to create jobs over the next 18 months to help us counteract the huge COVID recession. It is about long-term productivity. These are not just short-term jobs that will just end. There will be a long-term incremental jobs added to the Exhibition Park as a result. But most importantly, it reinforces Lethbridge and Southern Alberta as a key hub for the agricultural industry, for global marketing, and for food science and all of the related industries. I want to commend Mayor Spearman and his administration council for their vision about Lethbridge really being a launching pad for the ag industry from Alberta and Canada to the rest of the world. The aggressive approach they've taken to trying to attract food processing, value added, and that's going to have some great knock-on effects. We talked in yesterday's economic recovery plan about potential major infrastructure investments in additional irrigation in southern Alberta that will increase productivity and crops that will have to be processed in places like Lethbridge. And this expanded park with a real focus on ag marketing is part of that. So it's quick, it's immediate jobs, it's long-term diversification, and it just made a lot of sense to us. So I'm pleased this is our very first the very first strategic infrastructure announcement as part of Alberta's economic recovery plan that we are announcing right here.
Is this going to change the look of Lethbridge in any way, or is it just going to improve the look of Lethbridge?
Well, I think it improves the look of Lethbridge, but also the Lethbridge economy. I mean, this is going to be a beautiful, modern facility and spaces. These buildings have served the community well, but they're not getting any younger. And I think it will put Lethbridge's best foot forward as a modern town with modern infrastructure, with great amenities, with a great quality of life. There's that dimension as well. So it's here that the community gathers. It's here that tens of thousands of people come together at whip-up days and other major events. It's here that thousands of exhibitors come for big trade shows, and they'll be able to expand that massively and enjoy the Lethbridge experience. So I know that Chris is going to come after us about the airport and everything else as next steps, but let's get this one done to show that the tremendous world-class amenities for the people in southern Alberta.
We've been on kind of a whirlwind tour of the South the last couple of days. We announced the stimulus project yesterday, just for my media colleagues across the province. There have been some criticisms of the plan. A lot of this money was previously announced money. There's no new money. There's a little bit of new money. $1.5 billion of that's going to the pipelines instead of to one project. I guess, how do you answer some?
Well, listen, I'd be shocked if there wasn't criticism. Some people's job in opposition, they are literally paid to be critical. That's their role, so that's fine. But look, let me just put this in perspective. This is the single largest infrastructure budget in the history of Alberta. That's not an opinion. That is a hard numerical fact. At least a $10 billion commitment to capital building in the province this year, and there was additional funds announced yesterday, including the $600 million for provincial strategic projects, including this one right here today, $500 million. Oh, by the way, Mayor, I didn't even mention this. We also announced yesterday a $500 million top-up for MSIs so that Lethbridge and other municipalities, as well as the county, can invest in their priorities. We also announced yesterday an additional I think $170 million for the Alberta Seniors Living Initiative, as well as $175 million investment in the Alberta Enterprise Corporation to kickstart venture capital for startup enterprises in the tech and innovation sector. We accelerated the job creation tax cut to take effect tomorrow on Canada Day, giving Alberta the most competitive business tax rates in North America. So I think the largest infrastructure package in history that we estimate will create 50,000 jobs, accelerating this ambitious action on the tax side, announcing a series of sector strategies to accelerate diversification. I know for some people it would never be enough. I will just say this, that as bold as we are being, there is a limit because we're facing a huge deficit. Now, we're not going to allow that to stop us from protecting people from the global downturn right now, but I would just say that this is a very ambitious plan with a lot of substance, and you're going to see that plan turned into jobs right here on the park. How quickly, Bruce? When are you guys going to get started here? I sure hope so. We're going to hold you to that, right, Nate?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I was hoping for next week.
We have the former executive director of the Lethbridge Construction Association here. You can put on a hard hat and get her going, Nate?
You bet.
All right.
Steel-toed shoes in my car.
Other questions? All right. Well, thank you for coming out, folks. I appreciate your presence. I got to rush off to Picture Butte. Maybe if I've got a minute, say hello to everybody. But Chris, did you want to say anything else? It looks like you're trying to edge up to the microphone. I know what... Being between either you or me and a microphone is a dangerous place, but...
Good. No, it's an example of partnership. I hadn't heard about the increase to the MSI, but another example of supporting communities like Lethbridge. Fantastic to basically have a catalyst project. So this is seed investment. So what we spend on this facility is going to generate additional private investment, and that's really the secret to growing your economy. And I think we're well positioned. People always want to eat food. Like there's going to be, yeah, that's, so certainly it's about the partnership. It's about working together, having strategies to make sure that the economy grows. And, you know, as long as we're collaborating and helping each other, wonderful to see the college here today. The future is at the college right now. And them being part and benefiting from this project, the same with our university. I know that our businesses are going to grow. We're going to have a trained workforce. We're going to have basically a skill set and a core of intelligence in this area around agriculture and new agricultural techniques which make business more successful and make investors more successful. So we're looking to welcome all of that, and this project is the start. This is the trigger to build on what we already have, to do something different. So thank you to Premier Kenney and his government. Thank you to Minister Dreesen, doing a great job as Minister of Agriculture, and certainly great to have an MLA pushing a project like this for our city. So thank you.
You guys aren't working on site yet, but hope to do. Cheers. What's your name?
Jensen.
Jensen?
Yes.
Last name?
Last name is Jensen, first name is Vivian.
Oh, Sabir?
Vivian?
Vivian?
Yes.
Okay, and you're...
Michael Williams.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Danny Burnett.
All right.